Currently, less than 50,000 votes stand between Biden and Trump in just 3 battleground states that could have changed the outcome of this election. But while the Electoral College vote is competitive, the popular vote isn't close at all. Joe Biden will probably win that tally by at least 5 million votes. Democrats have won 7 of the last 8 popular votes, but only 5 of those elections. It's why the Electoral College tends to be so controversial in Democratic circles. We spoke to voters in California, a safe blue state, and heard a mix of opinions about this.
I think we should change the system and have the people vote, not the Electoral College.
If the people want a certain person to be president, I think that's who they should listen to.
Well, so I'm a centrist, so I understand the arguments on both sides.
Most states use what's called the winner-takes-all approach. The candidate who wins the popular vote in that state receives the state's Electoral College votes. But critics argue the system not only has its roots in slavery, but continues to give a disproportionate amount of power to states with smaller populations. Take this, for example. California, the most populous state, has 1 electoral vote for every 718,000 residents or so, while Wyoming, the least populous state, has 3 electoral votes for less people.
It gives lesser populated states a voice, and in a certain way it's good. And I think that there has to be a certain balance.
And for voters who tend to deviate from the majority where they live, their voices will inevitably be drowned out by this system.
My vote never counts. I even feel if I'm voting Democratic that year, I've never felt like my vote counted.
Saul, a Newsies, wants to fix that.
If you live in California, or you live in New York, or if you live in Virginia, or if you live in Pennsylvania is a swing state, but if you live in Utah, as an example, you're completely ignored today on the presidential front because we know how you're going to vote.
He was a fixture in Republican politics in Michigan for many years. Now he's all about changing presidential politics as we know it, starting with, you guessed it, the Electoral College. So
for all practical purposes, we elect the president of the battleground states of America versus the president of the United States of America.
It starts on the campaign trail. In 2016, 2/3 of presidential campaign events were concentrated in these 6 electorally competitive states, because campaign strategists were convinced those states could decide the election.
I used to live in Ohio. The candidates came there all the time. I moved to California. Biden didn't come here. Trump didn't come here. They don't come here.
Plus, the influence of battleground states extends beyond the ballot box. They're more likely to receive more federal grants and disaster declarations. But there might be a bipartisan solution that preserves states' rights and ensures that every vote counts. The National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. It's a mouthful, I know. It proposes each state's electors would be awarded to the winner of the national popular vote, not the state's popular vote.
I think what the strength of this proposal is that it is quintessentially fair. It basically sets up a situation where you campaign in all 50 states, and each side gets a chance to present their case to the American people as a whole, and you let the best man or woman win.
So far, 15 states and the District of Columbia have approved the pact. They share a combined 196 electoral votes of the 270 needed to win the presidency. The deal is, it wouldn't take effect until they're over that 270 threshold, and it would only apply to states that have actually joined the agreement.
I believe that by 2024, we'll have another 6 to 8 states that will have joined the compact. And at that stage, there'll be enough states that have 270 electoral votes or more, which is the magic number to win a presidential election. And they basically will cast their votes based on who wins the national popular vote.
But in order for that to happen, proponents of the pact will need to win over skeptics who want to keep the Electoral College as is.
I like the Constitution. I like the consistency. I like the distributed power geographically.
Republicans often point to previous popular vote winners like Al Gore and Hillary Clinton and assume a system that dilutes the power of the Electoral College will lead to more Democratic presidents. But Saul says Republicans and Democrats could wind up growing their bases in unexpected ways.
It would also create a situation where candidates are working with a lot of swing voters and independent voters in any and all of those 50 states.
Right now, the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact is the easiest exit strategy from the Electoral College, and it requires no constitutional amendment, but it will still face legal challenges most likely.
Now, there'll be some lawsuits. But, you know, with the current Supreme Court, it's pretty much a constructionist court, meaning it basically reads the law the way it says. Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution says the state legislature gets to determine how this is done.
So what happens next? If enough states pass this legislation by 2024, the popular vote could really mean something. And our next presidential election could look very different.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.